today's show.
We're going to Game 7, baby! Game 7!
That's right, Zaza. We'll discuss the Spurs forcing Game 7 and debate whether the Clippers can do the same.
It's time to preview and predict Bucks, Celtics in the Eastern semis.
And we'll count down the top 10 plays from the past 7 days.
It's Friday, April 26th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to the starters presented by Jack Daniels Old Number 7 and Tennessee Honey. I'm J.E. Skeets, alongside me as always, Tass Mellis. We got the Aussie Lee Ellison over yonder. That's the bearded one, that's Trey Kirby.
Hey-yo!
Hey-yo! Trey, what's up tonight?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #thestarters. And guys, Nikola Jokic was awesome on the court for the Denver Nuggets last night, but his post-game press conference didn't go quite so well.
Thank you, guys.
That is a literal mic drop moment, and it brings us to today's question. What is your favorite press conference malfunction? There have only been a few of these in NBA history, like, for instance, Kevin Durant being interrupted by an air conditioner.
We playing smaller and we playing Draymond at the 5.
I don't know what those sounds are.
It's scaring me a little bit up here, but
It might be the plumbing.
yeah. Yeah, that thing's shaking a little bit, buddy.
What a great line, but we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter what's your favorite press conference malfunction. Send them to us at #thestarters. We'll hear from you later.
All right, get your tweets in. On tonight's show, we're going to preview and predict the Bucks-Celtics second-round series, which tips on Sunday. We got the best top 10 in sports. We got a very solid play, but let's start with a little what you got tonight. Everybody knows how this works by now. Trey, take it away.
We're going to Game 7, baby! It's going to be this Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern on TNT. The Nuggets and Spurs throw down in Denver for the right to face Portland in round 2. The Nuggets had the best home record in the league this season, but the Spurs already have one win in the pop can. There's nothing easy about this. Guys, who wins Game 7, the Nuggets or the Spurs? What you got?
Give me the Nuggets.
Yep.
I think the role players will play far better at home, especially because their leader has shown he's not scared of the moment. Nikola Jokic just dropped 43 on the Spurs. And then you go to the other side. I don't buy that the Spurs can recreate Rudy Gay going 7 for 11 in 2019, or DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge also having monstrous games where they couldn't miss from mid-range.
Right.
They shot 69% from mid-range.
Nice.
I just think that comes back to earth a little bit. I think the Nuggets, again, I picked the Spurs in this series because of experience, and I think the Nuggets have dealt with it really, really well.
They have. After those first 2 games where things didn't look too good, it took that Jamal Murray incredible quarter to even win them in Game 2. But once they got those 2 out of the way, they seemed to sort of find themselves a little bit, even though they lost Game 3. And I think there's no reason to think they can't win Game 7 at home. This is what they play for all season. This is why they've been very, very good. They've got one of the best home records in the NBA. The interesting thing is, though, you mentioned Jokic had that career night, 43 points. That probably played into San Antonio's game plan.
I think so.
And I wonder
Go ahead, get yours. We're going to try and take away everybody else.
Because Jokic is very unselfish and he doesn't want to go out there and score 43 points. You know he'd much rather have 18, 20 points, dozen assists or so, and his team
He had
gets
9 assists.
No, I know he still did, but I think because Greg Popovich was asked about it after the game, is that your sort of game plan? And he didn't want to give away too much, but it feels like that's what the Spurs were trying to do. So go out and score as many as you can, and the Spurs win comfortably. So you think they'll probably try to use that method again, but I think now Mike Malone will probably try to have something countering that so that Jokic doesn't have to do so much scoring.
Well, the Spurs won this game comfortably in Game 6 because they went on that massive run sort of at the end of the third quarter, moving into the fourth quarter. A big part of it was the Denver Nuggets. They had some bench guys in there, and they got no bench contributions in this Game 6. And some of them have been quite solid over the series, but nothing from Barton, Beasley, Plumlee, Morris. In Game 6, they combined to shoot 5 of 21. And the Spurs had a 36-13 advantage in the bench points. That's where the Nuggets had been getting them in this series for the most part, but that was a huge difference maker, I thought, in Game 6. So, you're right. The role players, in theory, they should be better at home. And they have, again, through this series. They need to get off to a better start, though. And I know in the series, the Nuggets I'm talking about here, 5 out of the 6 games, they've been trailing in the first quarter. I'm a little worried in a Game 7 situation if that trend continues where, suddenly you're down 10. And I know they've rallied in a lot of these games. They obviously got some of these wins, picking up 3 of them. But that's not something you want in Game 7. You want to come out with a little more energy and at least play the Spurs even through the first 12, 15 minutes of this game, not trying to play from behind so much.
A good sign is, though, the Nuggets still won the battle in the paint.
Yeah.
They still won points in the paint. Spurs were just raining down for the mid-range. In the first 5 games, they're below 40% from the mid-range.
Yeah.
And then this one, they saw that monstrous uptick. A guy that needs to score for the Nuggets, besides the bench guys, is Jamal Murray. And I wonder how healthy he is after Jakob Poeltl gave him a heck of a knee. Our first Charlie horse, I think, of the playoffs.
Right. Do you think this was dirty? Because the Nuggets are saying he's done this a couple times now, Poeltl has. They've sent the tapes in.
I think this was a purposeful, hard screen.
Yeah, it's not dirty though. There's a difference.
There's a leg sticking out.
And he's a taller guy as well. Like he's.
Well, yeah.
I
The
guys who
officials,
set
by the
screens
way,
are-
the official said Jokic pushed Poeltl, and that was a big reason
It
why.
looks like it, but I don't buy that. The Nuggets have sent tapes to the league office saying, hey, these Spurs are setting dirty screens. Listen, he should be straight up and down like a screen door, and he's not. It looks like Jokic touches him, but I don't think it really propels him.
Right.
Yeah, Pearl sticks his leg out there, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
It's a hey
But you
there
were saying
moment.
about
This is-
Murray being healthy, though, here in a Game 7. He's obviously important to this team, a bit of a bellwether. He plays well. Nuggets tend to maybe pick up the win. If he struggles, you're in for a long night.
Yeah, he didn't leave the game, so that's a good sign.
But
He was on the
2
bike,
for 8
though.
after that.
Yeah, that's fine. But you're going to pick up a few bumps and bruises over the series like that. He's a young guy. He should be fine.
Yeah, and he, I think, falls in line after Nikola Jokic. Jokic, yes, probably played into the game plan, but 43 points it's a heck of a line. So your leader's doing well. Paul Millsap also played well. I think all those guys, Jamal Murray down, should play well.
Got to hit the 3-ball, too. I'm going to go with the Nuggets in a Game 7 at home. Trey, what's the answer?
I'm also going with the Nuggets on account of home court advantage. This is what you play the whole season for. Anyways, moving on. The last time we saw the Blazers, Damian Lillard was draining a 37-footer to send Portland to round 2 of the playoffs, but they're still waiting for their opponent, as the Nuggets and Spurs are taking their sweet time finishing up their first round series. Portland went 1-3 against Denver this year and 2-2 against the Spurs. So guys, which team is the Blazers' preferred opponent? Same question. Nuggets or Spurs, what you got?
Different
Spurs.
answer. Different answer.
Spurs,
Yeah, it's Spurs, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, solely because you'll have home court advantage if you're the Blazers.
Well,
that's a big part of it.
But the Spurs as well, they'll go to Denver, probably go back to San Antonio after the game, and then have to fly to Portland and face a red-hot Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers, who have got to feel so confident going into this after what happened in that last series against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I definitely think, because if you have to go to Denver and play the Nuggets, if they come off a win, they're going to feel pretty confident at home, especially as well considering that the Blazers didn't have as good a record against Denver as they did against San Antonio this season. So
I don't think the Blazers fear either team. I want to make that very clear. But again, I think I'd want home court advantage. Yeah. And I'd like the idea of seeing LaMarcus Aldridge come back to Portland and take on Lillard. I think that'd be a fun storyline for us to obviously overreact to and go crazy about.
For sure. I agree. It is the Spurs, but let's play devil's advocate for a second. The Blazers probably can go into a series against the Nuggets and say, these guys have never been there before.
Yeah.
They have the experience factor over this Nuggets team. They're in the second round. CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard are for the 3rd time in their career, never advanced to a conference final. So maybe they got a little swag against the Nuggets, and maybe there's a little fear against the San Antonio Spurs, where it's kind of like star pairing against star pairing.
Yeah.
So it's similar, and they probably feel like they've got more depth than the Spurs, though. Against the Nuggets, listen, the Nuggets are a more talented bunch. They should have the advantage. I wonder who I'd take in that series, though. Nuggets Blazers. It's a pretty even.
Are you going to bet against Dame after what we saw in the
It's going to be very tough to bet against Dame right now. But I do like Jokic. He killed them in the regular season matchups. I know it's the regular season. He played 3 games. 26, 10, and 8, shot 62%. And this is now we're learning that the Blazers may not have Cantor. I mean, he's got the shoulder injury that picked up in the end of Game 5 there. And they're saying basically day to day, he's trying to feel better. He's going through the practice and stuff like that. I do think ultimately Cantor will play. He'll tough it out, but he could be limited. So you don't want that, even if you got to take on Jokic, even Aldridge for that matter.
He also toughed out Game 5 and kept playing.
Trey, what's the answer?
Devil's advocate, more like Trey's advocate. I think the Blazers want the Nuggets because the Spurs do have that experience and defensive guards, but we shall see. Moving on, with 6 teams already in the second round, it feels kind of strange that the Warriors are still playing their first round series, but thanks to the relentless effort of the Clippers, Game 6 in LA is going down tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. No one expected the Clips to win 2 games in Oakland, but can they finally get one in LA? Are we going to Game 7, baby, or not? What you got?
We better be. The Clippers owe us this one.
What do you mean?
They can't lose 2 games at home and win 2 on the road and not win 1 at home. They have to win tonight.
Wow.
Yeah. You know the last time that happened? 1993 finals, only one home team won, and that was the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, in Chicago. Anyway.
Can we get somebody to fact check
Yeah,
that?
no, yeah, check it. That's good. No, but I mean, the Clippers have played so well in the last 2 games in Oakland. Surely they can now translate that into 1 victory at home. They're cockroaches. They never die.
Well, call up Adam Silver, say, you know what, we don't want the home game. We'll play in Golden
Play in
State.
Oakland, yeah.
You know, see if
Imagine
we can
that.
do
You could play Game 6 in Oakland and then Game 7 in LA.
Similar to what the Warriors, I think, should want for the next round if they get there. Say, hey, Rockets, you take home court advantage. Because they're bad at home.
Yeah,
they're not feeling good at home whatsoever. Their road record was only 3 games worse than their home record throughout the regular season.
That is? Why do you think? Because they're more focused on the road. They get up for the idea of like, let's shut this entire building up.
Well,
I mean,
they're
honestly,
chilled out. They've won 3 or 4 championships. Same bed they wake up every single day and they say, hey, we've done this before. You know, I
Get
think
new beds.
Get new beds. Get a sleep number.
I
heard they're great. You can change it every single night. It's like you're in a new bed every night.
The Clippers, in a weird way, have already won this series for them and their fans, I think. Even this season, you know, we counted them out multiple times. To win 2 games against the mighty Warriors in their own barn, that's impressive, and the way they've done it, too. If the Warriors decide to play any lick of defense tonight in Game 6, then they will win this game. The offense wasn't a problem. Durant was going for 45. Curry and Clay hit 3s.
Yeah.
I mean, they were fine. It's like they just weren't engaged defensively in their 2 losses to the Clippers. So I don't think we're getting a Game 7 in this
We
series.
are. Give us 7,
All
Trey.
right. Lee says we are. Trey.
I don't actually control
Oh,
what
come
happens
on.
tonight,
You
but
can
I
do
do
it.
think it's over. I think the Warriors are going to win by freaking 30, just like Klay Thompson wants.
Okay. Let's hear from you guys on Twitter. Hashtag the starters agree or disagree with Trey Bird there. All right, when we come back, we're going to preview and predict the Bucks-Celtics second round series. We did Raps-Sixers yesterday. Time for the Bucks-Celtics.
The Starters is presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey.
Basketball. The Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics will face off in the Eastern Conference semifinals this weekend. Both teams enter the series after first-round sweeps. Bucks dominated the Pistons. Boston went fairly unchallenged against the Pacers. Game 1 set for Sunday afternoon. You see it there, 1 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Guys, what's the biggest question you got heading into this series, Bucks-Celtics?
Celtics, how do you guard Giannis Antetokounmpo? That is the question. Al Horford started at center last series, but do you start Aaron Baines so Al Horford can slide over to the power forward spot and guard Giannis? Or, if you're the Celtics, do you do what you did at the end of the series last year when you played the Bucks and start Shemi Ojeleye? Dust off Shemi Ojeleye, who barely has played.
He played like 30 seconds.
In the Shemi finals.
Right.
Perfect.
But he started the last 3 games of their round 1 matchup, and he did fairly well against Giannis because he is a very big body. Starting him at center, and then Horford would probably go out and guard Brook Lopez on the perimeter. But everybody's going to take a turn. But that body and 6 fouls and that monstrous, I know we like our muscle watching.
Yeah.
There aren't too many people who can match up physically with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Basically none. But Shemi Ojeleye physically looks like he can handle him a little bit. And I think you just want to get Giannis off his block the first possession of the game, the first half of the game. You don't want him to get on a roll, or else you could have some serious problems.
So you think Brad Stevens might implement this right from the get-go? Because it took him a while, you said, last year to put him in there.
Yeah, soon enough. Maybe it's the second half of the first game, but not like the 5th game.
What do you got, Lee?
I think the Bucks are at their best when the 3 ball is dropping, and I think that helps when Giannis goes into the paint and he's only got 1 guy to beat, and then he can either lay it up himself or he can fire it out to his shooters. But the Celtics are very good at defending the 3-point line, so I wonder if Brad Stevens will be like saying, maybe it is Shemi or whoever, and saying, just stay with Giannis and everyone else
stay at home.
Stay on your man on the perimeter. Because if the Bucks can't get that 3-ball shooting, that's going to take them out of their rhythm and maybe force Giannis to go inside and have to score 35, 40 points himself, which is not the way the Bucks like to play. So I think this is going to be key in the series, because this is why, a big reason why Milwaukee's been so good this season, that they just get out there, everyone's shooting threes. They brought Brook Lopez in. He's firing up like he's Steph Curry these days. And I think that's key for Boston. If they can slow down that and give up the 2s rather than the 3s, I think that favors Boston.
And then on the other side, it's interesting because the Bucks, they give up a ton of 3s.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics are going to have a lot of chances, a lot of decent looks in this series. Can they hit the 3-ball at a fairly decent clip? That's Bud's plan.
And they love
We
doing
will
that.
protect the rim,
Yep.
and you can take your corner 3s and you can take your 3-point shots. So the Celtics are going to have a chance. They shot it pretty well in the first round against the
It
Pacers.
should be a big
40%.
series for Al Horford. He should have a lot of pick and pop shots open.
All right, Trey, what do you got? What's your biggest question?
Well, I think Giannis will get his points. Like we've said, the Celtics tend to let him score a bunch and try and guard everybody else. Kyrie Irving should be the best guard in this series. So who else is going to show up? Which supporting stars are really going to show up in this playoffs? Last year for the Bucks, it wasn't great for Eric Bledsoe. He needs to be a lot better this time. Chris Middleton, however, was incredible. Those guys, Bledsoe and Middleton, are going to get a ton of looks for the Bucks. If they're able to convert, they become an almost impossible team for the Celtics to hang with, to honestly just score enough points, because the Celtics can have problems getting easy points. You know, they got to hit their threes outside because they're not going to be drawing a lot of fouls inside. So to me, the stars are going to show up, but the secondary stars, which ones are going to be there?
How many Drew Bledsoe shirts are we going to see in Boston for
Ooh,
Game
you
3?
think it's gonna
I mean,
happen?
you figure they're
Full
going to
uniform, maybe.
Drew might even turn up again. He turned
why
up
not?
last year.
Yeah, sold some wine.
I
Why
think
not?
we'll see this again, though.
I mean,
Some sort of-
the Celtics fans are known for trying to get into someone's head.
Yeah.
And I mean, it worked so well last year with Bledsoe. He's become a different player. He became a much better player this season. But if you can try to get a guy off his game like that, why not go for it? You know?
Yeah. It helps that Eric Bledsoe has 2 games at home before
First,
going
yeah,
to Boston
definitely.
rather than last year.
Yeah, the Bucks have home court advantage. That was a big difference from last year where the Celtics had it. Let's see the predictions when we break it down. Sounds like you guys are leaning towards the Bucks. Yes, you are indeed. And I'm going to go Celtics with the, I guess, unorthodox in 7, winning a Game 7 on the road. It has happened. It can happen. It's going to be a great series. We're all agreeing with that. It's going to be a long series, but you know, the Celtics got something a little else to play for here, and with the unfortunate passing of John Havlicek. They're going to have the Hondo patch on there, number 17, whatever they're putting on there. And I'm excited to see Kyrie. I'm excited to see the stars. You know, Giannis is going to get his. What's Kyrie going to do too? Because he looked great in that first round series against the Pacers. This tips on Sunday, Game 1 again on ABC. Who do you like? Jump on Twitter, hashtag the starters. Let's hear your predictions. When we come back, it's the greatest top 10 in sports. Seriously, we've done it. We've checked with everybody else's list.
Perfect.
This is the best. Don't go anywhere. Back with the starters, where it's time to count down the top 10 plays from the past 7 days. It's the best top 10 in sports. Let's start at number 10. That just makes sense. And it's Jamal Murray cutting back door. Big slam.
Yeah.
Getting up there, a little Air Murray.
More like
Getting
Slam All Murray. I don't know if it'll catch on.
Ooh. Not bad, Jamal.
The Pistons' Reggie Jackson had a nice play this postseason. It was in Game 4.
It shocked everybody.
Yeah.
Where's this? Where is this, Reggie?
Hello.
We call him Mr. April.
Not bad. At number 8, I love this play. Lou Williams, a little shake and bake, a little hezzy.
Oh, this is
Bye.
gorgeous. Oh,
And
yeah.
sets up Montrezl Harrell for the big dunk. That's all he does, is just dunk hard.
Yeah, this is the most fun duo to watch in the
Yeah.
playoffs right now.
Huge slam from Trez. Oh, man. Can you imagine trying to guard Lou Williams? Be a nightmare.
At number 7, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo flying by his former teammate Thon Maker.
As he dunked that from where he is there.
Didn't we have 2 Giannis Thon plays last
Yes,
week?
that's correct.
Ooh, tough series.
Get out of my way.
Yeah, he sort of blocked the block attempt. At number 6, more Montrezl Harrell. This time a little defense. Yeah, coming weak side there too.
Is he doing the finger wag or something before he's even down there?
Well, he's waiting a little to celebrate because he wasn't sure if it was a foul, but he
Yeah.
went crazy as soon as they found out it was clean.
Serge Ibaka with a gorgeous block on Aaron Gordon, who looks like he's going to cram it on.
Oh,
Serge recovers real nicely.
Almost catches it,
Yeah,
too.
he almost
Fonzo Ellis
vacuumed that.
style. Oh, man.
defense here in the top 10. At number 4, back to the offense. Donovan Mitchell, skying to finish the oop. Yeah, it's got to go way up, reaches way back.
Drunk or dunk that we got here?
It's yeah, that's
Oh, no, it's a dunk.
no, it's a dunk.
Fingers touch rim.
Yeah.
Fingers touch the rim.
You also won't be able to describe this. Giannis Antetokounmpo just hanging, and finishing a play over Andre Drummond.
Unbelievable.
I put this in slow-mo 1,000 times thinking he was on the ground before he shot it, right? No, he's still in the air. Got it up with the touch.
That's at number 3. What a top 10 this week. Because number 2, one of the better dunks of the season. Forget just the playoffs. Miles Turner crushes one on Gordon Hayward.
Vaults off him.
It looks crazy just because he's so big to begin with.
Long arms get right up there too. Nice.
But we know it's at number one.
Yep.
Damian Lillard finishing off a series before the buzzer goes. It's happened only 6 times in NBA history. Dame's done it twice now.
The walk-off.
Slide step. Good night. He's got his family right there courtside.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
a wave. A long wave goodbye.
That's right.
But I think we should call it.
And then the meme.
Face.
And the meme, the Lillard look. Not bad. Great top 10 here in the second week of the playoffs. When we come back, though, Lily, you got a very solid play.
Oh, yeah, it's solid.
Only one game to pick from.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
All right. One game on tonight. Warriors-Clippers, Game 6 in LA. Warriors trying to get rid of those Clipper cockroaches. They won't die. Get started at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Can't wait for that. All right, we asked you, what's your favorite press conference malfunction? You hit us up on Twitter, #TheStarters. Trey, what do you got, man?
Some good answers. Emil sends in this clip of Tim Duncan nearly stumbling getting on, but then played it very cool with a little fadeaway jumper there. Awesome. Also a great one from MJ who says Draymond frozen in time. Bit of a malfunction, but the best answer, of course, Dirk smashing the fly. This is basically why we asked the question. See this clip. See you, buddy.
Good answers. All right, Lee, only one game. You said you got a good, very solid play, though.
Yeah, it's, believe it or not, 2 Aussies for the San Antonio Spurs here. Look at this beautiful pass here from one Aussie, Patty Mills, to a second Aussie, Jakob Poeltl. Beautiful.
I got you.
You get it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, do you want to explain it for those that don't?
Yeah, Australia,
Yeah.
Austria.
There you
Often
go.
get confused for each other. That's what I call a very solid play.
He was out of bounds.
Very
Great
solid.
teamwork.
Okay. Drop Podcasts. We recorded. It's up. Go download and listen to it. We talked about the playoffs, obviously. We talked about Westbrook. And Trey talked about one of his old jobs.
I worked at Abercrombie and Fitch, but they wouldn't let me stand outside with my shirt off. You don't want a big fat guy standing out there wearing cargo shorts and flip-flops? What's the problem? And you still make me wear a shirt here. What's the problem,
You
guys?
said you only worked one day.
Yeah,
All right?
one day at Abercrombie and Fitch, enough to get my discount and get out of there.
Okay, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And by the way, can you RSVP to this Raptors watch party?
Wow.
Are you coming
Back-to-back
or
days.
not?
I am a maybe. I'm a maybe for the first half.
You're a maybe for the first half.
Well, I'll come with my son.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you. Guys, enjoy the
yeah.
basketball this weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, if we're ever off the air, it's because we danced to LFO's Summer Girls pre-show one time. That's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Lee, don't come up there. Just chill at home, man. These guys are killing it. Embrace the weekend, people.
Yeah, yeah. Tricky.